What?
And welcome back to the Sports Outlaws, the OT edition. I'm your host, The Freak, with Cowboy Joe. And we're going to do a little OT today. It's something that we like to do. You know, work a little time and a half. Discuss some topics that we didn't get a chance to get to on the Sports Outlaws, which comes on the Talk Monster every Saturday at 1 p.m. So, we were talking about the Maxim Top 100 list of 2013. And, of course, being the pervs that we are, we had to have our own top 5.
Sure, and after the show, we discussed your dislike of some of the top 10 on that Maxim list. And I was like, well, let's just come up with our own top 5 list. So that's where we're at now. And we start off with your number 5.
Well, my number 5 is what you would call a hood chick. She came on the scene in the mid to late 90s. She did a collaboration with the infamous Trick Daddy. And that would be Trina.
Really?
You don't know now.
I love that collaboration, by the way.
Right.
Top 5, a little high for me, but I can see where you're going.
This is not your list, right?
Yeah.
This is the Freak's list.
I can see where you're going with that.
And the Freak likes his women a little rough around the edges. Like I said, a little.
She's a thug missus, right?
Yeah, and that's how I like them. So Trina, she's got the face is pretty good, but
yeah, I agree with that.
But she doesn't make it in the top 5 because of her face.
Okay, well, my number 5, totally opposite. As you might expect. My number 5 is Megan Fox.
It's mighty white of you.
Yes, it is. It's and you know what? I'm fine with that. Just like she's fine, I'm fine with her. Megan Fox, my number 5, and you know who she is. Transformers. Married to that Beverly Hills 90210 dude. Don't remember his name.
Jason Priestley?
No, not Priestley. The
Dylan character?
Not Dylan. He was
Austin Green, the rapper dude.
Yeah, he was the urban guy in Beverly Hills 90210.
Yeah.
So, number 5, Megan Fox for me. Number 4, Freak.
That guy's a tool. Number 4, I'm going to go with the lovely Rihanna. She's not as thick as, the Freak would like, but there's something about her that when you look at her, she likes to have fun. She's a party girl, and that's just what the Freak needs. He needs a party girl.
Well,
I'm down for whatever chick.
As long as she's with anyone except Chris Brown, I'm cool with that. I am cool with that. My number 4, you've seen her on The Voice this year. And I've always had an infatuation with this lady ever since Wherever, Whenever, the video Underneath Your Clothes. One, Shakira.
Hips don't lie.
Hips don't lie. They've never lied to me. So I'm a big Shakira fan. I even like some of her music, but I like looking at her a lot more.
Yeah, I didn't even know she sung. I just thought she was a dancer.
Of course,
I've seen the videos
Latin
with the
women.
music. Yeah.
Latin women, I have a weakness.
I do too. I think I'm going to move to Dalton.
Come on. Number 3 on the Freaks top 5 list. Who would that be, Freak? Number 3 is top 3, so this is big.
Yeah, I didn't want to, I didn't want to go with people who you would expect for me to put on there, but you have to put her on there. Beyonce, she's got it all. Brains, beauty. She's a total package.
Money.
I mean, she's gorgeous. She's talented. Number 3.
You know what? She would have probably been in my top 5, but I think there's just been a saturation of
Beyonce overload.
Yeah, so
I can get that.
I think that kept me from putting her in my top 5. My number 3, and like I said, top 3 is big.
Right.
You can't take this lightly.
Right.
So my number 3 would be Dwayne Wade's girl, one Gabrielle Union. And what sold me on Gabrielle, not the makeup or face treatment commercial she's doing, but Bad Boys 2. That's what sold me on Gabrielle Union.
Her and old Mike Lowry.
Mike Lowry.
Right.
Yeah. Beautiful woman, and she's no Trina, but she can do the job.
No, she doesn't have any dirt under her nails. That's the type of chick I kind of like.
What are they doing out there, digging a ditch or something?
They getting my money. Hey, she's not a round-the-way girl, but I can see where you're going there. Now, my number two is big, and there's been kind of a theme with the kind of girls that I dig on that I think are top notch in my book.
Right.
So number two would be Kim Kardashian.
Ooh, and I bring up the saturation.
Pre-preggers.
The whole saturation deal with Beyonce, well, I've got to amplify that times 100 with Kim Kardashian.
I would saturate the hell out of Kim Kardashian.
Hey, come on. That's enough. So she's number two on your list.
Number two with a bullet.
Number two on my list, someone you probably not thinking of, someone I think of on a daily basis. I grew up with this young lady, Topanga. Her real name, Danielle Fishel or Fishel. I'm not sure how you pronounce it.
It doesn't matter.
I just know her as Topanga, and if you happen to see the Maxim magazine that came out recently with her featured on the cover, now, what
was the name of the show that she was on?
What was it? Boy Meets World? Boy Saves
the
World?
show sucked. It was
a terrible show, but I watched it because of Topanga.
It was just kind of like watching the Wonder Years with Winnie.
But yeah, she's been out of the spotlight for a long time. She came out with this Maxim spread, pictures, and it kind of reintroduced me to her. Now I don't feel bad about thinking back to watching that show. I was like, man, she was hot. And
kind of like when Punky Brewster, she left the scene for about 10 or 15 years.
She came back, and she was a woman.
She was back.
Well, Topanga looks exactly the same,
right?
Except she's 20. Late
she's
20s.
A woman now. Yeah.
She is a woman.
She is a grown woman.
So,
a woman.
Drum roll. I know you can't hear that, but number one for the Freak, his top 5 most, I don't know, we call it hot list or just bang it out list. I don't know.
Yeah, they got to have that. Yeah, we don't want to go too far into that. But the number one girl on my list, and she just rose through the rankings. Like she knocked off Trina, she knocked off Rihanna, she knocked off Beyonce, and this all happened within the last 7 days. She wasn't even on my radar until Monday or Tuesday.
Really?
Yeah. And that is the great Farrah Abraham from Teen Moms.
Now, she is legal, right?
She is definitely legal.
Okay, well, we're going to make sure that's
she is definitely legal, and she's paid.
She is paid.
And that girl got talent. That girl good.
Well, I wasn't. Well, she's not my number one. I'll say that.
Hey, she's number one to me, buddy.
She's the number one. She's number one on a lot of people's list right now.
Is she talented? She's very talented. Very talented.
She is. She knows what she's doing. My number one, you know her. She is a movie star. And Freak, you love a woman with some thickness to her.
Mm-hmm.
One of my weaknesses is, full lips. That you can kiss on and just, you know what I'm talking about, full lips.
So Sandra Bernhard is your number one?
No, she is not.
Oh.
No, she is not. Scarlett Johansson from Iron Man 2.
Okay.
She's been in a number of movies, but you know who she is. She is absolutely one of the most beautiful women I've seen in a long, long time. And she just drives me crazy. I don't know how, but she's not as beautiful as my wife. But
and let us say, disclaimer, we should have said this at the beginning.
Sure.
None of these women I would leave for my wife unless something happens, 60 years from now and, we're not around and, one of these ladies,
signing at some kind of convention, and you're
right.
single, and you're like, hey, let's hook up.
I'm on my walker with the tennis balls underneath it, and I'm, I'm pushing through the buffet line at Shoney's, and I run into, of course, I wouldn't want to run into these girls then in 60 years, but I'm just saying. But my wife is the most beautiful woman.
You have any honorable mentions?
Honorable mention, yes, I do. I'm glad you mentioned that. Rev Run had a show, Run's House. I don't know if you ever watched
Familiar with it?
But his oldest daughter, her name was Vanessa. She's a model / actress. Hot stuff. And another one, Lala Vasquez.
Really?
Carmelo's wife?
I know who you're talking about, but see, I was familiar with Lala before she met Carmelo.
Well, see, this is what happened. You know how when you're in high school and your parents buy you, let's say they buy you a Cutlass, and you got factory rims and the seats are kind of torn up, and you got a factory radio with a cassette player in it, And you know what? You say, this is my first car. I'm going to appreciate that car so much. I'm going to fix it up. I'm going to put a Pioneer radio system in it.
Alpine.
Yeah, Alpine radio and speakers, put 12s in the back and 6x9s in the doors. I'm going to put 23s on it and fix it up. Candy-coated paint. That's how Lala Vasquez is. When you saw her on MTV, she was like an around-the-way girl.
Oh, yeah, when she was on there, she had like 70-year-old eyebrows.
Right.
I mean, that was freaked me out.
If you have seen her now.
She's good looking now.
She has matured, and she's spending Carmelo's money wisely. She's enhanced some things, and she's hot, man. She would go on my list. If Farrah Abraham hadn't shot to number 1, and I mean shot with a bullet, then Lala would have been on there.
So there you go. Now, my honorable mentions. 1, Kelly Rowland.
Okay.
She fine.
She bad.
She bad. She has blossomed since her Destiny's Child days.
Yes.
And my other honorable mention, Katy Perry. Something about her. She's got this exotic look, and she's
What did she sing? I Kissed a Girl?
I Kissed a Girl, and I liked it.
Yeah.
Last Friday.
Yeah, I can see where you're going.
Spaceships, I think, with
Yeah, she's kind of out there.
She is, and
exotic. I don't know if that'd be the right word.
What?
Kooky?
Kooky? No, she doesn't look kooky. I mean, I'm not.
I mean, she's kind of spaced out.
She is, but I like it, man. I like it a lot.
Who are we to say? I mean, we're no scholars either, so.
No, man.
Yeah, it's not like
I don't know about you, man, but I'm stud.
Well, yeah, studly and scholarly are two different things. I'm definitely a stud.
So there you go. For what it's worth, that's our list, the Sports Outlaws.
Hottest chicks. This is just the hottest chicks.
Sure. Now, and we could do this because we don't see these women. But if we did like a hottest chicks in Chattanooga, we might get in trouble.
The hottest chick in Chattanooga is Rochelle Angel. Period.
Smart man.
Absolutely.
Smart man. So there you go. I think we wanted to talk a little bit about American Idol. I know the Freak doesn't really watch that. And
no.
This year, I haven't really watched it at all. I think I watched 10 minutes of it. But
and you were a big fan, correct?
I watched it every year.
In its heyday when it was Simon Cowell and Paula Abdul and Randy Jackson and the infant stages of the show.
Of it, yeah.
Right.
I watched it every year. You love the beginning of it because people that can't sing that think they can, and that's always funny.
But isn't that staged, though? Doesn't after a while they get old because it's staged and people are just going to show up who can't sing and they're just going to go.
It's like the show Duck Dynasty. In some of these reality shows, it's staged, but it's still funny.
But this even more so than others because the first year, okay, it might have been funny, and maybe even the second year. But as the show caught on and it gained in popularity, then you just have some yahoos just coming up there to just
trying to get on TV,
right? Get their 15 minutes, like who was the Oriental guy who had 15 minutes of fame?
I don't remember his name.
Wayne Chung, whatever. You know what I'm talking about. But he did a video and all this other kind of stuff. And now, that guy can't. He did Living La Vida Loca, He did like a remake of that, a parody of that.
No need to be a hater, man. We're all about love.
Hating. I'm just saying.
We're about love here, Angel. That's what we're about on the Sports Outlaws.
I'm just saying, after a while, I mean, even I get tired of eating the same old stuff every day. You see it year after year, and they go, okay, dude, you can't sing. This is not funny. You can't sing. Why'd you come up here?
Well, it's
just to be on TV.
It's not. It's partly because of the singing and the judge's response.
I think his name was Richard Hung or something like that.
Yeah, I think that's close. That's close. But anyway, Randy Jackson announced he's gone, and apparently Fox is going to fire Keith Urban, Mariah Carey. I should have put Mariah Carey on my list. I need to recalibrate.
Oh yeah,
right
I forgot about Nicki Minaj.
That's the reason I haven't watched this year because Nicki Minaj.
Well, I mean, yeah, she's ratchet. She's ratchet as hell. There's not when she opens her mouth to speak, she's a total turnoff. But if she stands there and doesn't say anything and turns around with her back towards me, it's pure heaven.
I can't get past that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't want her to talk to me though.
I was not a fan of hers before American Idol, so when I heard she was going to be on there, I just instantly my mind went into a negative place, and I was like, I'll watch it, give it a chance for about 5 minutes, and then after that, I was like, all right, I'm finished.
Well, it seemed like the whole theme of that show was putting her and Mariah together, knowing that they were going to feud.
Knowing they didn't want to,
Right.
Mariah didn't want her on the show.
I mean, but they paid Mariah $18 million. They paid Nicki Minaj $12. Yeah, I'd get on there and act a donkey for that amount of money.
So
hell, I'm doing it for free now.
A new lineup for American Idol next year, from what we hear, and who knows? I think that show is on its way down. Especially,
it's jumped the shark.
Yeah, I don't know if you watch The Voice any, but that's one of my favorite shows. This year, Shakira on my top 5 list. Usher not on my top 5 list.
I hope not.
Blake Shelton, country guy, and then of course Adam Levine, head guy from Maroon 5. So they got a lot of talent on there, and the singers are getting better and better.
You know what show
really
I like?
That show.
You know what show I like?
Seinfeld?
No, Star Search. I liked it when it was called Star Search. And this contestant gets 2.25 stars.
Yes.
That was the best.
Ed McMahon.
You had way more talent coming out of that show than you ever have coming out of The Voice, X Factor, American Idol. I mean, look at the lifespan. American Idol, Kelly Clarkson is probably the only real star with lasting power that's
Carrie
made.
Underwood.
Oh, she came from out of there too? She just got the gig for Monday Night Football.
Did she?
To sing, yeah. She's replacing, what's the...
Hank Williams Jr., your boy.
No, the girl.
Oh, Faith Hill.
Yeah, come on. Yeah, she's replacing her. She's doing the Monday Night Football theme. So, I'm sorry. Carrie Underwood and Kelly Clarkson. It seems like the black contestants, their careers are not that...
Fantasia was one of them.
Yeah, she's messing around with other people's husbands.
Clay Aiken, and he really didn't do... Daughtry's another guy, rock and roll guy. He's pretty successful.
Hated it. No, I don't hate him. I've never heard them. And,
well, he's the one guy.
Yeah, is he?
Yeah.
Yeah, I never heard of him. And the big black dude, Luther Vandross's nephew. See, I knew his name before I even said it. This is going to kill us.
Looks like he ate Luther. He lost some weight, so I shouldn't say that. I mean,
when he first came out, he looked like he ate the old Luther, the first Luther that came out. The Luther that couldn't get his curl quite right, Luther.
So there you go. There's your American Idol update. I know you were anticipating that. But talking a little bit about the NBA playoffs, your thoughts. I know we barely touched on the Heat Bulls series, but any of the other series that you're looking forward to?
The series that I'm enjoying the most right now is the Grizzlies and the Thunder.
I love it.
I love the way that the Grizzlies play. They play basketball like they played in the 80s. Inside, outside first. Mark Gasol is a beast. And we did, and I know you did. Well, you were happy about it when they traded him the rights for his brother a couple years ago. And, that led to Kobe getting another 2 world championship rings. But Memphis plays an old school, grinded out style. They go inside. I wish they had a perimeter threat. But it's interesting to see whether or not Kevin Durant can take this team, put it on his shoulder without Russell Westbrook, and carry them to the Western Conference Finals. Because right now, it's a one-man show, and he's playing spectacular basketball.
Well, Durant can't do him by himself.
No.
When they won, Kevin Martin has helped out a lot. He's going to have some big games for them to get past the Grizzlies. So, your predictions real quick. Thunder, Grizzlies, who wins it?
It's going 6, and I'll say Memphis. I'll say Memphis and the Spurs in the Western Conference Final. Oh, it's too early for that, but I like the way the Spurs came back on Friday night and beat Golden State at Golden State. They shut down Curry and Klay Thompson, that perimeter duo who was shooting the lights out up until last night. But I like the way San Antonio plays. I think they got one more run in them, but they will be demolished by the Miami Heat in the finals. San Antonio, I think.
You like the Heat beating the Bulls?
Yes.
Knicks, Pacers. Who do you like?
I can see this one going 7, and I see the Knicks pulling it out. Just because of the offense, just because it's time for Carmelo to take that next step into the discussion of great players. He's not the greatest, but of this era, but it's time for him to be mentioned with LeBron, Durant, Chris Paul. It's time for him to be mentioned in that group, and I think that he takes them. They beat Indiana, but they lose to Miami in the Eastern Conference Finals.
I think Heat beat the Bulls. I'm going to say 6. I think the Bulls will get one more win somehow, some way. I'm going to say Pacers beat the Knicks in 7. I like Memphis in 7 over the Thunder. And I like Golden State in 7 against the Spurs. I love this team. You look at, of course, Stephen Curry. Dell Curry's his dad, former NBA baller.
Hot mom, too, by the way.
Klay Thompson, I don't know if you knew this.
Michael Thompson,
old Showtime from the Lakers.
From the Lakers, number 43, I believe he was.
You remember he wore the wristbands, forearm bands, knee bands,
former number 1
bands.
pick in the NBA draft out of Minnesota. I like their team. They're coming along, but they're young. They got to take some lumps first. Oklahoma City took theirs. Golden State's going to have to take theirs.
But if you had your choice, who would you want to see in the finals?
Aesthetically?
Well, however you want to do it.
I think the more pleasing series to the eye would be San Antonio, Miami, because of the star power. You got LeBron, you got Wade, Tony Parker, whose wife we should have put on there, ex-wife.
Nah, no.
You don't think so?
No, she's all right, but.
Tim Duncan. But those are the 2 teams I think will make the finals anyway. So I think that'll be the better series. I think San Antonio has a chance to take 1 or 2 games off Miami. I don't think any of the other teams in the West do.
I would like to see. I'm a big Georgetown fan, of course, so I'd like to see Hibbert get in there with the Pacers, but I don't think that's a good brand of basketball to watch.
No.
So if I had my choice.
Yeah, I changed my mind on that too. Golden State. You see, you're talking about a brand, because they get up and down. They shoot a lot of threes. Mm-hmm. Dale Curry can get hot. Klay Thompson can get hot. Jarrett Jack. Yeah, I'd rather see Golden State in Miami because it's going to be up and down. It's going to be like Showtime Lakers versus Boston Celtics. But, that's what I would rather see.
I think I would like to see the Heat in the Eastern Conference and either Golden State because it would be an up and down game and they might be 150 to 149, and that's just in regular time.
Right.
Or the Heat against the Grizzlies because you talk about that front line for the Grizzlies, Gasol, Randolph, and who's the other guy?
Tayshaun Prince.
He's subs, I think. I don't think he's a starter.
Yeah, he starts. Mike Conley, Tony Allen, Tayshaun Prince at the 3. Yeah.
But I think when you take that matchup, they would dominate the front court. But the back court, it'd be fun to see how and who Mike Conley Jr. would match up against and how that affects him defensively and offensively.
I'm glad you brought that up because Memphis does have the kind of defenders that could, slow LeBron down a little bit, especially getting to the rim. He's got, some help in the back line. But Tayshaun Prince is a decent defender. But Tony Allen is an all-world defender.
He is.
But LeBron is an all-world player. Of course, he'll be the greatest player of this generation. Probably the greatest player of all time when his career is all said and done. You heard it here.
From the Freak, not from the Cowboy.
I need to tape that.
But I really think the Heat and the Memphis Grizzlies probably would be the better series for me to watch just because of the contrasting styles of play.
Right.
But I would love to see Golden State win it all. I mean, I'm falling in love with this team.
I like them too.
For some reason.
Yeah.
I would love to see, I don't care what round it is, I'd love to see the Knicks just be swept by somebody.
I'm tired of the Knicks.
Because I'm not a big Melo fan. J.R. Smith gets on my nerves.
I'm not either. They're entitled players who play as if they're already the best. And they're not. And they don't necessarily make their teammates better. But the thing about Carmelo, and he reminds me an awful lot of Dominique Wilkins and Dominique's prime with the Hawks. Yeah, Carmelo's going to get 40, but he's going to take 40 shots, which is the same thing Dominique did. And it didn't lead to any kind of success in the playoffs. They were forever getting beat by Boston.
We saw in Game 2 when Melo starts out the game getting other people involved, and he ramps up his offense in the second, third, and fourth quarter. Then you understand that, but you got to get everyone else involved.
Yeah, it's not a hard formula to follow. No. Kobe had a problem with this, and still does to this day.
I disagree with that too.
You get your teammates' confidence level up because you can get yours. Now, guys like Kobe and Carmelo, they want to get theirs first. Damn my teammates, they'll pick up the scraps. But Jordan had to learn this because he didn't know it his first 6 or 7 years in the league. You get those guys' confidence up, you get them playing well, then you come in and then you can, do what you want to do. Now, if they're not playing well, then of course you have to pick it up. But Kobe and Carmelo, I mean,
That's why Kobe starts off hot, bro.
Nah,
That's
Kobe
because
don't
he can't trust nobody.
Yeah,
it's the Black Mamba. Ain't other Mambas on the team. And they ain't even a garden snake on the team.
Listen, if Michael Jordan can trust Luke Longley, Steve Kerr, Bill Cartwright, B.J. Armstrong.
They just got rebounded. He had Craig Paxson. He had Craig Hodges. He had Scott Paxson.
John Paxson.
Whatever.
Yeah, but still, those were nobody type guys in the NBA. If he can trust those guys, then I'm damn sure Kobe can trust Gasol, who's an all-pro type player.
Soft.
Oh,
he's soft.
No. He's skilled.
He's skilled.
No.
Some people call it soft.
So Kendrick Perkins, he's tough, right?
No.
But he can't score. I mean, a lot of people say, "Oh, he's a tough guy," but he can't do anything on the court.
He's a fouler.
He's a waste of space. Now Gasol will take the ball on the post and left-handed hook, right-hand hook. He can do anything.
Okay, let me rephrase that. When it comes to rebounding, just dirty, do what you got to do, Paul Gasol's soft.
No, I think if you look at his rebounding average, I'm pretty sure he's averaging double figures.
Skill-wise, he's great. He's a great power forward to have on your team if you need the skill, passing ability, shooting touch, things like that.
We're gonna need we might need a second overtime edition and get paid double time, because there's no way you're telling me Paul Gasol is soft. He's not soft.
Well, I know.
Andrew Bynum is soft. Mentally, he's soft.
Mentally, he is soft. Yeah, I agree
Paul
with that.
Gasol was one of the main reasons why Kobe has 2 more rings.
Now, one more thing we want to discuss before we end this overtime edition of the Sports Outlaws. Tim Tebow let go by the New York Jets. Your thoughts? I know you're not a big Tebow fan.
It's not that I'm not a fan of his. It's that I think that he doesn't have a quarterback skill. I think you would have to tailor everything in your offense, from drafting to who you bring in free agent wise, around his strengths, which aren't many. And the main one is just running the ball and being a fullback, playing quarterback. He's not accurate, but he's proven that he can make a comeback. But then you got all the hype surrounding him, and it's not his fault. It's not his fault. Tebow didn't go out and say I'm the this, that, and the other. But I look back at players who didn't get the chances that he's gotten, and Tebow's made a lot of money so far.
Well, yeah, he's in the National Football League.
If he quits today, he can go to every church in this country, and they're going to pass the offering plate for this dude. You know what I mean? So, I don't feel sorry for him. Hopefully he works on his game. Maybe he'll humble himself a little more and maybe go to the Arena League, or maybe try it in Canada where they pass the ball every down, and he can work on some of the things that he needs to work on. But he's not going to get that shot in the NFL because of all the attention and everything else that he brings with him.
And I would agree. Yeah, I agree with you as far as that's concerned, about the attention he brings. And, that team they're going to be on ESPN and Fox Sports and every sports website out there. There's always be a story about Tebow and the team he's with. So I can see why a team would want to stay away from that. I just have a problem with the Jets releasing him after the draft,
right?
After free agency is over with. So really, Tebow's screwed. I mean,
they did screw him, but I said,
why do that? That's what I don't do.
I don't know.
And why bring him in if you're not going to use him? Especially with the struggle Sanchez has had.
Yeah, I mean, Sanchez wasn't he wasn't the reincarnation of Joe Namath, but Tebow had a shot. He can't play. In the NFL, this is what you have to do. If you're a quarterback, you have to be the first one in the facility, which I'm sure Tebow would. You have to watch a lot of tape, which I'm pretty sure he did. But when it's time to go out on the practice field and take that to the practice field, apparently he couldn't do it. He said he's a terrible practice player. So, in that respect, I don't feel sorry for him, because look at the great college quarterbacks that haven't done bupkis. Danny Wolford was a better quarterback than him, in my opinion.
He got turned up during the game, though. Tebow was turned up.
In the last 2 minutes after he's gotten the team behind up until that point, he had a decent defense with Denver, a decent running game. But, he'd be 2 for 18, and in the third quarter, give him credit. He made something happen, but he got a shot. Did Charlie Ward get a shot? No. He didn't get a fair shake, right?
No, he went to the NBA.
Yeah, but he didn't even get drafted. Al Davis didn't even take him. Al Davis took everybody. If you ran track, Al Davis took you in the draft. If you played baseball part-time and you wanted to just come in and maybe have about 2 or 3 carries, Al Davis would draft you. I mean, but it's a lot of quarterbacks that, excelled in college. It probably didn't necessarily get a fair shake. Gino Toretta comes to mind. He's gotten a shake. He's gotten a chance. He's got a playoff win under his belt. Go preach to the masses.
So there you go. That's the Freaks take, not the Sports Outlaws take.
He'll make a lot more
Tim
money
Tebow.
Preaching than he would playing football. I tell you.
I guarantee he'd make a ton of money preaching.
He'd make a ton
doing
of money.
what they call the chicken dinner circuit or plastic chicken circuit or whatever it is. Anyway,
I'm not familiar.
Tim Tebow is going to be all right in his career, whatever it may
he'll
be.
be fine.
Even if he decides to quit football, he'll still get paid and he'll still help a lot of children and people out there. So I hope.
And that's the thing I do like about him. He seems as if he's honest, and he means what what he believes. I don't have any problem with him as a person, as a player. Not my cup of tea.
Favorite artist, music?
I'd be Tupac Shakur.
R&B?
Jodeci.
I like where you're going. That happens to be my 2 favorites as well. It's the Freak, it's the Cowboy, it's the Sports Outlaws. OT edition number 2 in the books, in the audio cloud, wherever that may be.
In the sky somewhere, the SoundCloud thing in the sky.
So there you go, folks. Thank you for listening, and stay tuned every Saturdays at 1 p.m. Every Saturday at 1 p.m. for the Sports Outlaws, where we just bring it every single week. It's the Freaks Word of the Week. Always have something good for you, some kind of game or some kind of some discoveries that you maybe did not know about.
So we're trying to educate, inform, and entertain all at the same time. You don't get that from a regular sport talk show.
Indeed.
And we're doing it in an hour.
Sports Outlaws, Saturdays, every day. Saturdays at 1 p.m.
Yeah,
we need it to be every day.
We need every day. Listen, this is what the Freak and Cowboy needs you all to do. We need you to go to our Facebook page, which is at facebook.com/the Sports Outlaws. We need you to like that page. Message us. Hit us with a message. Say, hey, we want to partner up with you guys because we think that you guys are great. We want to, do business, basically. We're partners with Kia and Coca-Cola, Chattanooga Coca-Cola Bottling Company, Warren and Griffin, People's Home Equity, which sponsors the website, thesportsoutlaws.com, Absolute Plumbing, our great friend Matt Manning. So we got some heavyweights already with us, but we need some more because we got a lot more to say.
A lot more to say.
So you go to that Facebook page, you inbox us, you hit us up. We'll call you right back and say, hey, let's do business, man, because that's just how we roll. And you can follow us on Twitter at Sports Outlaws with a Z. I always messed that up, but I didn't today. And you can subscribe to our feed on YouTube. It's youtube.com/the Sports Outlaws, where we post Saturday shows. We post the OT edition. We might have some other sound bites and stuff that we can't necessarily play on the radio that we might post to YouTube. So stay tuned. We got a lot of stuff that we worked on, and we want you all to hear it. We appreciate you listening to us. It's the OT edition, baby.
Thank you for listening. We out.